Look at your hands. Now look at the room around you. The soft glow of the screen you're staring at. The comfortable chair you sink into after an exhausting day. The quiet moments at 2 a.m. when the house is completely still. You think this is peace. You think this is rest. But what if I told you the very things you turn to for comfort are methodically erasing your tomorrow? We aren't dying from predators anymore. We are dying from convenience. We are slowly poisoning ourselves, not with toxic chemicals in a hidden laboratory, but with the mundane, seemingly harmless choices we make every single day. And the most terrifying part? 90% of you listening to this will wake up tomorrow and do the exact same thing, especially the seventh habit on our list. It is a morning ritual so deeply normalized, so aggressively promoted by modern society, that it is secretly destroying your stress hormones before your feet even touch the bedroom floor. But we will get to that devastating truth later. Right now, you need to understand the traps you are already caught in. Let's start with the night. The house is entirely dark. You are utterly exhausted. Your eyes burn, your body violently aches for sleep, but you refuse to close your eyes. Instead, you scroll. You watch just one more video, read just one more endless thread. Psychologists have a name for this dark phenomenon: revenge bedtime procrastination. You feel like you have been robbed of your time all day long by your demanding boss, your soul-crushing commute, your endless suffocating responsibilities. So, in the dead of night, you attempt to steal it back. You sacrifice your physical healing for the fragile illusion of control. But while you are swiping through curated lives that aren't yours, your brain is quietly drowning in cortisol. Your cellular repair mechanism is forcibly halted. Your immune system is put on standby. You are literally trading hours of your future life for brightly colored pixels on a cold glass screen. You aren't taking your time back. You are just speeding up the clock toward your own physical breakdown. Then comes the morning. You barely survive the night, drag yourself out of bed, and willingly walk straight into the next trap: the comfort of the chair. Sitting. It sounds absolutely absurd, doesn't it? How can the simple act of sitting be lethal? Human bodies were brilliantly forged in perpetual motion, explicitly built to cross vast savannas and hunt for pure survival. Today, we fold ourselves into expensive ergonomic chairs for 8, 10, 12 torturous hours a day. We sit while we commute, we sit while we work, and we sit to relax. As you remain perfectly motionless, your blood flow slows to a dangerous crawl. Your muscles begin to atrophy. The crucial enzymes that actively break down fat in your bloodstream simply go to sleep. It is a silent, painless rot. You do not feel it happening, but deep inside your arteries, the total lack of movement is building a fatal dam. They say sitting is the new smoking, but it is actually much worse because nobody ever hands you a black warning label with your office chair. Have you checked your phone since this audio started? Just a quick, desperate glance at a notification? That brings us to the third poison: doomscrolling and the age of artificial anxiety. Every single time you open a social media application, you are stepping into a digital casino meticulously designed by billionaires to seamlessly hijack your central nervous system. You aren't just looking at the daily news, you are directly mainlining the world's most horrific tragedies. Your ancient primal brain absolutely cannot tell the difference between a physical predator chasing you through a forest and a terrifying headline happening thousands of miles away. So, your adrenal glands fire. Your heart rate violently spikes. You exist in a perpetual, exhausting state of low-grade panic, a continuous fight-or-flight response with absolutely no physical release. We are entirely exhausting our emotional reserves on a fabricated digital world, leaving us hollow, deeply numb, and entirely detached from the physical reality standing right in front of us. And to actively fuel this perpetual state of exhaustion, what exactly do we consume? The convenience trap. Habit number 4, ultra-processed fuel. You grab something fast, something wrapped in bright, crinkling plastic. It tastes momentarily like joy, perfectly engineered in a sterile laboratory to hit your dopamine receptors with terrifying precision. But it isn't food. It is an edible, food-like substance. It aggressively strips your gut microbiome, the very biological foundation of your immune system and your emotional mood, completely bare. That constant, heavy brain fog, that unexplained, crushing lethargy you feel every single day at 3 p.m., that is not normal aging. That is your physical body suffocating on synthetic ingredients, silently begging for actual earth-grown nutrients. We are halfway through the list, and your body is already fighting a brutal war on 4 distinct fronts. But the real damage? The permanent damage that actually breaks your human spirit? That happens quietly, invisible to the outside world, inside your own head. Habit number 5. Toxic self-talk and the perfection illusion. Listen to the voice inside your head right now. You would absolutely never, under any circumstances, speak to a friend the way you speak to yourself in the quiet of your own mind. You ruthlessly catalog your failures. You compare your raw, messy, behind-the-scenes reality to the heavily filtered, perfectly curated highlight reels of strangers on the internet. This chronic, relentless self-criticism isn't just a bad mood, it is a biological stressor. It keeps your cortisol elevated just as effectively as a physical threat. You are literally bullying your own cells into a state of chronic inflammation, which naturally leads to a physical symptom you are probably experiencing at this exact second. Habit number 6, screen apnea. Take a deep breath right now. Notice how incredibly shallow your previous breath was? When we stare at screens, particularly when we are scrolling through intense or stressful content, our breathing becomes shallow, or we unconsciously hold our breath altogether. This chronic shallow breathing signals to your sympathetic nervous system that you are in danger. You are starving your brain of oxygen while simultaneously telling your body to prepare for a fight that never actually comes. Pattern interrupt. Audio. The sound of a deep, sharp inhale, followed by a slow, deliberate exhale. The ominous background drone completely fades away. A single, clear piano note plays. This brings us to the beginning, near the 7th habit, the one I warned you about, the morning ritual that 90% of modern society is actively trapped in. The alarm rings. You open your eyes. You are transitioning from the vulnerable, healing state of sleep into the waking world. And what is the very first thing your hand blindly reaches for? The glowing rectangle on your nightstand? Before you have even spoken a word, before you have stretched your limbs, before you have looked at the sky, you flood your waking brain with the world's chaos. Unanswered emails, outrageous headlines, the manufactured perfection of other people's lives. By checking your phone in the first 5 minutes of waking up, you violently hijack your brain's natural awakening process. You force an artificial spike of dopamine and cortisol, entirely destroying your natural circadian rhythm. You are literally programming your brain for anxiety, setting a frantic, reactive baseline for the next 16 hours of your life. You are surrendering the absolute most important psychological real estate of your day, your first waking thoughts, to the highest bidder on the internet. So, how do you escape? How do you break a cycle that is actively designed to keep you trapped? You do not overhaul your entire life overnight. That is a trap of perfectionism. You fight back with what I call the 1% shift. The ultimate antidote to toxic convenience is intentional friction. You don't need to throw your phone in the ocean. You just need to charge it across the room, so you physically have to stand up to turn off the alarm. That is a 1% shift. You don't need to meditate for an hour on a mountain. You just need to take 3 deep, conscious breaths before you open your email. That is a 1% shift. You don't need a flawless diet. You just need to drink 1 glass of water before you reach for the artificially flavored energy drink. Your life is built entirely in the shadows of these tiny daily choices. It is time to step back into the light. If this message resonated with you, if you are ready to stop letting your habits slowly kill your potential, hit the subscribe button right now. Join this community of people who are waking up. And I want you to do one thing for me today. Go down into the comments and tell me exactly which one of these 7 habits you are going to break starting tomorrow morning. Let's hold each other accountable.